It is decision day at the Supreme Court, and the High Court handed down two opinions today. The first was about hiring lawsuits against freight brokers, and the second on jurisdiction over arbitration awards. But those aren't the decisions we're most interested in. I'm joined right now by CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford. Jan, as always, good to see you. So when do we expect to hear the landmark birthright citizenship opinion?
Well, you know, those are the most controversial ones. So you're going to have different justices having very different views, which means, you know, they're going to be writing separate opinions, and that takes longer. So that's why we kind of get early in the spring and early as we get into summer, some of these decisions like we got today that are pretty straightforward, not that huge news that we're following. The big ones always come at the end of June, and that's what I would expect for the birthright citizenship case. It was argued at the beginning of April, so not that long ago for the court. And it's going to take them a while. These are huge issues that they've got to work through. And you're going to have some probably different opinions and different writings from some of the justices. I mean, the question is, you know, it's hard to understate. I mean, President Trump with that executive order is trying to redefine what it means to be a citizen of this country. That according to the 14th Amendment, he argues that doesn't mean if you're born on U.S. soil, you're a U.S. citizen. That is obviously the long held understanding of what it means to be a citizen. So major issue, probably one of the biggest cases of the term, obviously, and it's probably one that we're not going to get until that last week of June.
Yeah. And so you talk about birthright citizenship, but what are some of the other most important opinions coming up this term?
You know, this is a really significant term. You were just talking about that voting rights case. We've already had a number of them that the justices have handed down. They started hearing arguments, of course, back in October, but already and going forward, I think we can probably expect opinions, and I'll probably be talking to you every Thursday from now to the end of June. The court is likely to be releasing different decisions, and there's a lot of them. I mean, we've got major cases from, you know, including like transgender issues, and whether states can ban transgender women from competing in female sports, obviously a hot button social issue. You've got gun cases, whether habitual drug users can get handguns. You've got voting access cases, and of course you've got other cases involving President Trump, whether or not, for example, he can fire members of so-called independent federal agencies like the Federal Trade Commission, whether he can remove a governor from the Federal Reserve Board for cause, he says, even though he never gave her a chance to respond when he fired her. Major issues of presidential power as Trump continues to try to kind of push the envelope on what the executive can do. So a range of cases, right? I mean, you've got social issues, you've got gun cases, voting cases, presidential power, and then birthright citizenship, in addition to a bunch of other ones too, and then other ones that we probably won't ever want to talk about, like today's cases. And so it's going to be a busy next 6 or 7 weeks, as it always is. The court always kind of keeps us busy in mid-May to late June.
And I know we'll be talking to you soon, Jan Crawford, about all of this. Thank you for your time today.